Hi, I'm Brigham Larson with Brigham Larson Pianos. This piano is awesome. Fully refurbished. I love these pianos from this era. 1890 to 1930 is my very favorite era of piano building, and here we are 100 years later. And so whenever I work on pianos and find one like this that I can really sink my teeth into, from a technical standpoint, I'm just kind of in heaven. So in the 1920s in particular, they built pianos that just kind of, in my mind, and according to my kind of worldview, how I see the 1920s, I see this piano as fitting squarely in there. 1924, I kind of see the 1920s as sort of decadent era where things were big and strong and like well built, kind of an era of like craftsmen, and that's what I see this piano as. I like the look. It has kind of a muscular look, but it still has some flair to it, and everything inside is just super well built. I don't know how else to put it. So what I've done to it is basically everything short of replacing parts, which I would characterize as a rebuild or a restoration. This piano is not a restoration, but a very thorough refurbishing. And what that is taking everything that's there, everything without exception, and making it function as well as it possibly can. So obviously in a piano there's a zillion parts, and there's not one in there that I don't touch, manipulate, work on in some way or another, and it's a huge project, and you'll hear the result, and I'm just so happy with how this piano ended up. It's just strong and powerful and rich. But first before I play it for you, I want to tell you everything that I've done to this piano. I always start with a very thorough cleaning. Take the piano all the way down to the bare minimum. Clean everything very thoroughly. Oil all of the wood. Clean everything up. Take the action outside. Blow it out. Take the whole piano out. Get it just immaculately clean under the keys. So inside and out, this piano is immaculate. Okay, the keys, these are original ivory. When I originally got this piano, I was missing quite a bit of ivory. And with the ivory, I'm always faced with the decision to, do I replace it with plastic or do I refurbish the old ivory? And what you see now is the result of that decision, that I decided to keep old ivory. A lot of people really like ivory. Yes, it is elephant tusk, but that's what they did. That's what they did in this era. In fact, they did it for a long time, and it does have the best touch of, plastic is great, and it feels nice too, but ivory really is the best. So I kept it in this piano, and the ivory looks great on this piano. The sharps, totally refurbished the sharps. I did a matte finish, and they just feel really nice and smooth, and they look beautiful. Kind of more of a satin finish, really. Polished the key pins, tightened everything up on the action, reshaped the hammers, cleaned the key sticks, cleaned all parts of the action, lubricated everything in the action. What else? Aligned everything in the action. Pedals, replaced lots of felt and leather and did lots of lubrication, tightened everything up, aligned those pedals so that they're properly, of course, all of this stuff, it's just cosmetic, but all of this is original hardware. Got that all buffed and looking good. The casters down here, they're all tightened up and secured and sucked up nice and close to the piano. And then the bottom panel, which is under there, that always loosens up on every piano from this era. Things kind of start to separate, and sometimes you see cracks and they get creaky. and it just makes for inefficient functioning of the pedals, and all of that is taken care of. Of course, regulating the action, which is something that I really take a lot of pride in, which gives you the right touch, and it's everything. In fact, this little flyer here, which I won't get into, if you want to have a look at this piano, you can see this flyer and you can look at it up close. But we have everything that we've done on this piano very thoroughly documented. Of course, brought it up to pitch and tuned. Maybe I'll just mention briefly about the regulation. So regulation is something that every piano needs after about 10 years. And of course, this piano is 90 years old now. So any piano from this era desperately needs it. And what regulation is it's manipulating the action in such a way that makes it function correctly, so that you have the right let off, is what it's called, is the geeky technician term, where the hammer gets close to the string and at the last possible moment you lose contact with that hammer. It flies to the string on its own momentum, just that last little eighth of an inch. And over time that gets further and further away and it functions less and less efficiently. Then you also have other regulation issues like key dip, that will change a little bit over time, and blow distance, the distance from the hammers to the strings when the hammers are at rest, and then the damper lift, damper timing, the damper spoons. All of these things get out of regulation. Of course, when you think of 90 years, I mean even 50 years, working on pianos 50 years, all of these things are wildly off, as you would imagine. That is a really long time, especially for something with so many moving parts, such a mechanical thing that a piano is. All of these things are back to spec there. Everything is functioning just as it's supposed to. Oh, and then also the strings. Got the, let's have a look. Let's just look inside. Looks beautiful. Up to pitch and tuned. Let's listen to this thing. Power and a lot of sound for very little effort. And that sustain, what I'm hearing is sustain right now. I hope it's coming through on this video, because it just keeps ringing on and on and on. I love this piano. And if you've watched any of my videos, I realize that how I'm portraying this piano right now may come across as hyperbole, but if you've watched other of my videos, I try to be very honest in my assessment of pianos and how they turn out, and hopefully you realize that my singing the praises of this piano is not hyperbole, but it really does sound that good. That is an awesome piano. I am so happy. The touch, the tone, everything. So, in sum, on this piano, if what you're after on a piano is a great instrument, but you don't want a black shiny box or kind of a lot of the products that Young Chang and Samick and that sort of thing put out over the last 30 or 40 years. You want something that has this 1920s look, really a classic, beautiful piano. And by the way, even the touch and the tone, those pianos that I mentioned a second ago, that were produced kind of en masse, that are kind of in this, you know, in this general price range. This piano blows those pianos away. This is just awesome. I think that it probably sounds and feels as good as it did when it was brand new. And I look at these kinds of pianos. These are antiques. These are pianos to be cherished, and say I'm a fan, if you can't tell. So highly recommend this Howard piano. Thanks for watching.